Greetings and welcome back to The Pride. My name is Muphasa El Matador. They call me the Curious Cat. My job is pretty simple. I help grow your conviction. Conviction to buy, conviction to sell, conviction to hold. And today we're going to be looking at Uber. All right, before we jump right into it, hit that like and subscribe button if you like videos like this. We'll be jumping straight into the Fear and Greed Index. I think it's very important at this point that we look at this. We are at extreme greed right now. I've been talking about this over and over. You don't want to be buying at the top, right? One thing to really point out, and then we'll jump into a recap of last week. Once we hit this level, the Fear and Greed Index, they called the top in August. We hit this level again in December. That was the top, and now we've broken through with the I'm not sure what's going on right now, to be honest, and I would not be buying long-term positions at this time. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not advice to buy or sell. My job is to grow your conviction and point out all the things that we are tracking in the team. So that is one thing to really consider going into next week. We are at extreme greed, and I'm showing you guys just what to be looking at. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to look at a recap of AMD. We looked at AMD last week as the main subject of our video, and AMD came out with great earnings. Boom. This is the one I like the most. Motley Fool says AMD proves Intel's problems belong to Intel alone, and the report was really good. I said in my video that if AMD was to smash earnings, especially with good guidance, that we could see AMD trade as high as $99, and AMD called it chill at $88.90. Brilliant run all through last week after earnings, and in the team we hit the home run playing AMD call straight and SOXL. If you would like to see when we enter our trades, all you have to do is hit the links below, come become a patron and join the family. You can also check out when I exit my trades, because I post those videos on my social media sites. With that said, let's jump into the charts. In contrast to the smart money, dumb money being retail traders like you and me, and smart money being the hedge funds. And I like to look at where we are at. What I've noticed from tracking this is whenever we hit the peak, like March, end of July, end of November, for dumb money confidence, you can see the stock market start to tank. So it looks as though dumb money is always buying at the top and selling at the bottom. Right now, we have this amazing FOMO rally, fear of missing out, that is fizzling into February, and that gives me a lot of concern. With that said, I'm going to jump straight into a little comparison that I have going on with the DXY and SPX. SPX being the S&P 500. Right. So what I noticed tracking this is, first I like to show you guys the sentiments on the DXY. The dollar is heading higher, which is cause for concern if you're in the stock market. The reason I say this is this 2022 was very bullish for the dollar. And every time we had a flag and we hit support, meaning the dollar trades to a bottom, it always coincides with a top on the SPX. And when the dollar hits a high, the SPX is always at the bottom. This has been the trend since the bear market started. You can see we hit a bottom here on the bear flag, coincided with the top on the SPX, top on the dollar, bottom on the SPX. And right now, you can see that the dollar is trading back to a support range that it hasn't hit since June of 2022. And as we hit this support and turn up, you can see the SPX start to turn down. Is this a top for the SPX, a short-term top as the dollar trends higher? or are we seeing something irregular happening? Just wanted to bring that to your minds, and I would be moving on to check out the rest of the things that I have for you guys today. So the first stock on our list is Apple. Apple is the biggest dog in the market. It has the largest cap, big monster company. And the first thing I want to point out is Apple has its first miss in a really long time. And the market reacted positively after this. I was on Clubhouse with my team, and this was as a result of Tim Cook saying that the worst is behind us on the earnings call. However, I see that the momentum hit my ice line and the sellers came in. The market is honeycombed with buy and sell orders. You can see rejection over here, followed by 8 days of weakness. You can see rejection over here, but this time it broke above and continued trading higher. And that leads me to the next thing. You can see that at the peak in August, the RSI was well above 70 at the 75 level. That's where we are right now, at the 75 level. And if you look at the weakness that followed, once we hit the high RSI, you would see why I have concern at the level that we're currently at. I will not be buying Tesla at these levels. I'll be looking for the RSI to turn over to give me a better entry if I am going long. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is financial edutainment. And that is it for Apple. We'll be looking to see Apple have some weakness, find support maybe on the trend line, and then bounce. If it falls below the trend line, then we're looking at something else. And that's it for Apple. Next on the list is Tesla. As you guys know, I trade Tesla almost every week. This is the biggest casino in the market right now. It's amazing to see Tesla run from 100 all the way to $199. That is 99% if you bought at the low. Most people do not like to buy when everyone is fearful, but give me Tesla at 198, 185, and everybody is jumping in. You can see our head and shoulder had the neckline at 200. Tesla got rejected at 199. Nobody wants to buy at the top. You have to think like a million people. What I pointed out to my team is you can see a divergence forming on the RSI. The divergence is where the price goes higher and the RSI doesn't follow suit. We can see the RSI hits just above 70 when Tesla was at 180. It had a dip to support at 165, and then it pushed higher to 199, and you can see that the RSI didn't follow suit. So I'm looking for Tesla to roll over. This is a sign of weakness going into the week. How low will Tesla go? I will be comfortable, like I said in my last video, buying Tesla at 150, but I am looking at the 21 EMA crossing over the 50. Once that happens, I know that Tesla is on a bullish run, and we will be trying to break out of this neckline. We will continue to hit ice until it breaks. Once it breaks above 200, we'll be looking at something else. If Tesla falls below 165, I don't think this cross is going to happen, and we'll be looking to see our opportunities then. But I see Tesla at extremes that we haven't seen in a long time. And if we go back to the last time Tesla was this high, you'll be looking at August. Similar story with what we saw when we looked at Apple. And these give me concern for the current state of the market. And I personally will be looking to protect my portfolio at these levels. And that's really all she wrote for Tesla. And we're going to jump into the trade for today or the week, and that's Uber. All right, down to the banger for the week. Like the stock that I want us to really take a look at is Uber, and I will be sharing my ideas, right? So when you look at Uber, it doesn't take a lot of brain cells to figure out that this thing is trending like to the bottom of the ocean. It continues to fall since the beginning of most stocks. You see the decline start in 2022, but Uber has been declining since 2021. And you can see the earnings right here. See these E's? A red E, bad. Green E, good. And this earnings report was February 9th, 2022, and it was the last positive earnings that Uber has seen in a year, which is really, really bad. And usually, when a company beats on earnings, the stock goes up. So the guidance from that point was really bad. And you can see that the decline was just constant. It tries to break away, constant. And it hit support at 1958. And since then, it's been trading pretty decent, even with our earnings miss over here, it continues to trade in this channel. We are approaching earnings 1 year after the last beat for Uber, and Uber is currently hitting multiple resistance. So it broke above ice, hitting that trend line, and we are approaching earnings next week. I expect Uber to turn from here. And if we have a miss, Uber is a easy play to the downside. I initially told the team on Clubhouse that I would like to play this on earnings day because it's before market opens. But I am confident that Uber is not going to make it with positive earnings. I could be 100% wrong, but I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to buy puts on Uber once the market opens. I do want to point this out. This article I found very interesting. That's an interesting title for any headline. 3 stocks to stay far away from, not just away, but far away from in 2023. And Uber makes that list. And once you take a look at these details, you would see why I have my bias, right? So September 30th, 2022, Uber's total costs and expenses increased 63%. That is not how you make profit. To 8.84 billion. The company's net loss per share is at 1.21 billion. The company's bleeding money. Its total liabilities also increased to 23.7 billion, which is 1.2% from the previous period. And in terms of EV sales and EBITDA, Uber is trading at 2 times and 42 times, 22 and 271.6% higher than the industry averages. These numbers are bad by every account. And the cash flow multiple of 50 compares to the industry average of 13.96. Could they pull out a miracle next week? I believe that anything is possible. However, I'm biased to the downside, and I would get into position right now that it's at resistance with an RSI that is way, way above 70. The last time it was here was right before earnings. And once earnings came out, it fell to the $28 range. So I will get in position on Monday, playing an in the money call option that expires on Friday. And I will see how much money I can make from that. Remember, this is not a recommendation to buy, hold, or sell. My job is to grow your conviction, and I would like to hear from you guys how you play Uber in the week ahead. But I am putting this video out there before market opens. So just like you guys saw my success on Tesla, my success on AMD, I look forward to next week when I show you guys how I crushed it on Uber. With that said, I'll be jumping into the earnings, and that will be that. I'm going to start by looking at onsemi. I hold onsemi in my portfolio. For me, it's one of the best semiconductor stocks. I looked at the SOXL before this video, and it's trending downwards. Maybe this might change the directory, but that's it for on. I don't really care much for anything else. Activision has a merger coming up, and I'll be looking to hear the details of that on their earnings. If you like to fly Spirit is reporting earnings after market. On Tuesday, BP is going to be reporting earnings. They're probably just going to brag about how much money they're making. I track travel because some of the people in the Pride are holding travel stocks. So I'll be looking at Royal Caribbean to get an idea of where that's at. Hertz, I'm not really interested, but it would be nice to see how they're handling their come up. Also, if Tesla has delivered all of the vehicles as promised. I had Chipotle for dinner last night, just FYI, and they will be reporting earnings tomorrow on Tuesday after market closes, and I'll be looking to see how they're passing on the inflationary pressures to their clients. They boast that it's super easy. I didn't notice any change in the price. I just like the food. Enphase Energy is a big one in my portfolio because I do believe a lot of money will be flowing into clean energy and construction stocks. So I'll be looking at Enphase to see how they're dominating, expecting a beat on that one. This video we did Uber, and I like that they're reporting earnings on Wednesday before the market opens. For me, that's easy money because we will be able to see how the stock is trading or reacting to earnings before this actual session. So Uber is a big one for the week. And I'll be looking at Affirm, buy now, pay later to see how they're coping with the current landscape. And Robinhood is seeing a lot of decline in users. And I believe there is a SBF saga with regards to a bunch of stock. So I'll be tracking those as well. Don't really care much for the rest on the list, but anything that pops up, I will be looking at it. PepsiCo, Kellogg's, Toyota, big names to look at. I'm not interested, and I'll be tracking PayPal Thursday after hours. With that, I really don't care much for anything else. But if there's anything on this list that you would like me to take a look at, smash the like and subscribe button and let me know in the comment section. And if we have the time and we see something amazing, we'll probably make a video. With that said, it's Muphasa El Matador. Peace.